Are you wondering why your class or your school fails to meet expectations year after year or month after month? Are you so desperate to see any kind of progress that you accept any kind of growth as a sign of success? And finally, are your kids failing to meet the projected growth goals on tests like the MAP or the state assessments? Well, if so, I want to tell you about the first step toward raising the rigor in your classroom. Yes, raising the rigor even when the kids are failing to meet the low expectations we already have for them. Okay, here's a clue. The first step has to do with setting a goal. This is part one of building rigor in your classroom, and we're going to focus on the goal. The first step to building rigor is having a goal. And it sounds funny, but many people do not really have a goal. They just kind of work hard every day and hope the kids grow, and at the end the school or the district tells us whether we met our goal or not. Setting the goal is the first piece of the progress that you have to make. It has to be a high goal with high expectations, and you have to include milestones throughout the year. So maybe your goal is a certain percentage of passing on your state assessment, and then your milestones can be maybe 4 to 6 milestones throughout the year. Maybe every few weeks you have a milestone, and then that breaks down into smaller maybe formative assessments. Maybe they're weekly, maybe they're daily. I favor the daily progress because you should have a goal every single day, not just a larger goal, but it's just a huge breakdown. Why do we need a goal, and why do we need milestones to get to the goal? So setting a goal is the first part. So if I want to go to California, I can't just jump in my car and start driving and hope I'll get there. Okay, when you have a goal without any actions, without a roadmap or a plan, that's called a wish. That's not a goal. So a goal means you know where you're going and you know how you're going to get there. And there are milestones along the way, places that you want to be that tell you a sign of whether you're on the right track or not. Okay, and you could do it kind of blind and going, I know the sun sets in the west and I'm just going to go west, but that's going to take you a lot longer. And like we talked about before, these high-risk kids, they have no time to waste. We have to do, the straight line to the goal, and that means everything must be aligned with that goal. Why would teachers not have a goal? Well, as soon as you set a goal, you're setting yourself up for failure, is the truth, because the easiest way to never fail is to never set a goal for yourself. Never decide you want to do something, you want to accomplish something, and then you're never going to fail. You're never going to fail to meet your goal. You're just going to be, a good try, and that's great. And that kind of mentality can kind of keep you in the hole. It can kind of keep you from making progress. And it's really doesn't really have anything to do with the excellence mindset that we're trying to teach the kids. You set a goal and then you find a way to get there. That is the excellence mindset. Where do we want to be? Now, what's it going to take to get there? Not, maybe we're going to try real hard and see how far we can get. That is not going to get you to your goal. You've got to be brave. You've got to set the goal, and you've got to try hard, and have your students try hard. This mentality is the whole reason why the kids are not successful, because a lot of times, especially if they've been a few years in school, they start to be jaded already to where they don't even want to try anymore. Why don't they want to try? Why don't they want to look like they care? Because then they might fail. And it's scary. So be bold and set that mindset for your kids, and try to set a goal and try to meet it. Not only do you need to set the goal and set the milestones, but you need to know the goal. The kids need to know the goal, and they need to track their progress as well. They all need to know where they are on that roadmap to California, right? Put the goal on your wall, put it in your threshold. Every single day you can mention the goal. Every single week you can mention the goal. You're talking about it when you are, whenever you're learning, whenever the kids are losing. You've just got to be clear on that goal, that we all know why we're here and we have a unifying purpose. Even as a school leader, your school will have a unifying goal, right? If you really want to be working together. It can't be everybody's trying to go to a different state. We're all going to California. I don't know why I'm talking about California because I'm in Texas. So you need to know the goal, the kids need to know the goal, and they need to be moving toward the goal. And if they're not, that's when you need to change something. It means you're going the wrong direction. So number 2 is to reinforce academic performance. There's a lot of positive classrooms and the kids are happy, and that is wonderful to celebrate birthdays or something else that you're going to do. But we have to be focusing on academic performance. We have to be celebrating progress toward the goal. We're not just celebrating because you worked hard or you did a lot of effort. And this is a hard mindset to have, because this is kind of we're ingrained to think that. And really, if you're trying really hard, chances are you're going to meet your goal or you're going to make some progress, right? It's not always the case. Sadly, it's not always the case. And there's a difference between making an effort and trying. If you're really trying, I'm confident you're going to meet your goal. You're going to see that it's not going, you're going to do what's the best practice, and you're going to figure out what it is that's not working. You're going to tweak it and adjust and monitor and move on. You will be successful. I'm confident that you will be successful. But if you're just making a lot of effort and you're just working really hard, you might not make it to your goal, because it depends on what you're doing. I've seen teachers, especially new teachers, they'll be at the school until 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening every single night, and they're cutting things out and they're planning and they're doing stuff, and they are not lazy people, and they are working hard and they are making a big effort. But sadly, sometimes they're not getting any closer to moving the kids toward that goal. They're spending their time on the wrong things, or they are so busy with all these details that are not directly influencing the goal, or they're even focused on the wrong objectives. They found a really cool assignment, a really cool activity, and they come and do it with the kids. But did that really get them closer to the goal? Because if it doesn't, you are kind of wasting that effort. And so there's a big difference between making a strong effort and working really hard and actually trying and focusing on meeting that goal. Okay, and that's the difference, is the one who's working hard and doing all that work without really the success is probably not focused on that goal. They're focused on something else. Okay, so you got to have the goal, and then you have to reinforce academic performance. So you're going to reward success and progress, not effort. Okay, and I see that you can see this a lot. You can go in and the kids are working really hard and they're copying a page out of the book. And they're tired and they're working so hard, but is that really getting them anywhere? Are they able to? That's a muscle activity. That's a PE activity. It's not a rigorous thing to be doing, right? So you got to be careful about that. You're not rewarding the kid who took an hour to do the test and got maybe a 50. But the kid who was done in 5 minutes and got a 90, you said, oh, they didn't make an effort. That kid's being more successful. You got to be rewarding that. Reward as they grow. You do reward both for their score if they both grew. But make sure you're rewarding the right things and you're rewarding actual success, actual academic performance. Okay, and then the third idea about goal setting is that it's very important that the students eventually take ownership of the goal. Okay, because you're the teacher and you're kind of saying the goal. So then they might work hard for you, right? But not for too long. It's not going to go very far if it's your goal. It has to be the kid's goal. So you have to make sure the kids understand the why and let them own the goal. They can adjust the goal a little bit. While you have an overall goal for your class, each student might have a different goal. If they've never passed a state assessment before, their goal might just be to pass. And that could be okay, right? I would be careful about giving anybody a goal of not passing. Like, okay, you got a 30, let's try for a 40 this year, because that's really lowering expectations. I wouldn't want anybody to do that to my kid. So I don't want to set that goal of not passing for any student. That's just a personal, I know that goes against a lot of practices. We're just looking for growth, but growth is great, but we need to get on level. I don't want my kid to grow 10 points and be at a 40. I want them to be at least on level, right? And to really be as good as they're capable of being. Okay, so you have your overall goal, but every student will have their own goal. And if they're already at mastery, then you tell them start making perfect scores. That's your goal. It's okay if you don't make a perfect score. You got to tell them that, right? But try to get every question right now, because that's how you're going to get, an advanced performance scores. You figure out every mistake you're making. You try to get a perfect score. Never punish them for that, or never don't reward them. I reward kids, above a certain point. If you get over a 90 or something, you get you get the praise or the reward every time, because nobody's perfect. But you can tell them that piece that, yeah, you're already doing really well. So now you got to try to get every question right and see how you do on that, and just tell them that they're above level, but keep setting that bar. Okay, so let them have ownership of it. And that's why I really like the coach metaphor, because it's not you, the teacher, and you're telling the kids everything student-centered. It's the students. It's like they're the athlete, and you're kind of the coach yelling from the sidelines. You're not the one doing all the effort and all the work. It's the kids who are doing the effort and the work. You're guiding it in the right direction. You're making sure they're strengthening those academic muscles and those habits of mind and habits of work, and just learning the skills that they need to be successful. So you're guiding them and pointing them in the right direction, but they're the ones who are doing the effort. They're the ones who are doing the work. And the work and the effort that you're doing, we've got to make sure it's focused in the right direction. Those were the three important hints about goal setting. The first one is to have a goal, have a high goal with milestones. The second one is to reinforce academic performance, academic growth. The third tip was making sure the students have ownership in that goal, that eventually they're claiming it as their own and they're the ones trying to get there. That's the perception, that they're the ones trying to get there. You're the one who's helping them do it. Okay, that's a great mindset to have in your classroom. Okay, part 2 is going to talk about data, because, it's not setting a high goal and everybody's going to rise to the level of the goal. No, they're going to fall to their highest level of training or their highest level of systems that they have. So we're going to talk next in the next video about data, how to gather it and how to track it properly. Press the like button if this helped you at all, and please subscribe to be notified of more videos.